up, guys? We are now in our 8th week in our series on the Beatitudes, and so I really hope you guys have enjoyed this series. Every week we've looked to see what God blesses in different character traits that we can have. And so remember, Beatitude is just the Greek word for bless. And so I've enjoyed digging into this, and this week's Beatitude is different. This week's and next week's will look different than the other Beatitudes have looked throughout this time. But in Matthew chapter 5, verse 10, we see this Beatitude. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. See, this almost seems in a negative way versus the other ones have a positive way when we read them at first. But what I want us to see is that this is not a negative way at all. This is not a negative sight for us to view this in, but yet this is a very positive thing for us to see. See, this Beatitude shows us that if we are following Jesus, persecution will come. Now look, I know that does not sound promising. If I say you follow Jesus, persecution is going to come to your life. No part of that sounds inviting, especially if we tell other people when you follow Jesus, hardships will come. See, that part does not sound inviting, but the thing that we need to focus on is that when we follow Jesus, other aspects of our life will gain so much holiness, and our other aspects of our lives will grow in Christ's likeness, that the persecution won't seem to matter as much as following Jesus. But the question that we have to look at is following Jesus worth the persecution today? Is following Jesus worth the persecution today that we may face? See, as a teenager, the persecution you're going to face for following Jesus at your school might be rumors spread around you saying that person is just a Jesus freak, or that boy or that girl, they love Jesus too much, they are weird. The way that they like Jesus, that's weird to me. I don't understand them. I don't understand the religion. I don't understand Christianity. You might get labeled as somebody who's weird. And to me, that's okay if that's the persecution that comes your way. Another form of persecution that might come your way is loss of friends. See, we all have friends that are near and dear to our hearts, lives, and they make impacts to where we're at today. But if you truly start to follow Jesus and you have friends in your life who don't want to go down that path, or say, you know what, while I'm in high school, I want to do all the high school things. I want to drink and have sex and party or whatever it is. And they say, maybe one day down the road, I'll follow Jesus when it's more convenient in my time. You might lose friends if you say, no, Jesus doesn't want me to do that with my life, but yet he wants me to glorify him with my life right now where I'm at. See, if you take that stance, that might be a form of persecution that you may face. And the last one I think that you may face, that's a pretty well-known one, is lack of popularity in your school. See, if you truly follow Jesus, you'll see popular kids oftentimes can become popular for the wrong things, or people will chase popularity through the wrong things. I'm not saying as a Christian you can't be popular, but what I'm saying is if you're truly following Jesus, the things that the world sees as something that will make you popular won't matter in your eyes. So by the world standards, you might lose popularity. And so for you, you have to answer the question, is following Jesus worth today's persecution? So like, I can't answer this question for you. If I could, I'd say yes. But your parents can't answer this question for you. Your friends, your small group leader, your grandparents, doesn't matter. They can't answer this question for you. See, ultimately, you have to answer the question for yourself. You have to decide for yourself, is Jesus worth the persecution that would come to me? See, Jesus followers, they strive for sexual purity, honesty, and the fruits of the spirits. These are things that those who follow Jesus are known for. People who love and have joy and peace and patience and kindness and goodness, gentleness, self-control, and faithfulness. See, these are things that go against the grain of culture. See, when you're following Jesus, you will become persecuted for righteousness' sake. When you're living as one who is righteous, given descriptions by the Bible of how we may live in order to look like Christ, you will find persecution because these things are not what culture wants you to do. So, when you are being persecuted for Jesus' sake, I want you to remember this. Take heart, for you are being blessed. See, if you're being persecuted, if you're losing friends, if you're losing popularity, whatever it is, the persecution that you may face for following Jesus where you're at right now, see, those things mean that you are blessed. Why? Because the Spirit and glory of God rest upon you, my friend. What I want you to know today is that it's okay if you lose popularity or if you are being persecuted for your faith by today's world standards, if you are following Jesus. Why? Because you get to inherit the kingdom of heaven. And I can tell you that is far more greater than popularity on this earth. I love you guys. I'll see you soon.